Hey everyone, it's Brandee, and we're gonna do our first craft Sunday. I haven't thought of the name yet, but I'm sure I will have by the time this goes up because it's in the title. So we're not gonna really be doing much for crafts per se today. We're gonna do a little bit of an overview of all of my miniature rooms, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail than I did in the introduction video. And then next week we'll actually be finishing a kit that I had already started, but you'll see when we get into it. It's off to the side. I'm going to move it for a second, so we'll look at that last. I wanted to go in the order that I remember building them, and three of them you will have already seen. This is the very first one I did, and this one I don't know if the lights work in it. They all require batteries. I'm trying to turn it on while holding my camera. Well, that works. So let me turn my light off so you can see the lamp up there works and the candle right there. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how these things come into creation. And most of it's paper crafts, and there's sewing involved, there's a lot of gluing involved, a lot of cutting, and I will get a ruler for some context. So okay, so we'll probably be in a slightly different so let's do centimeters first, and then we'll go and do inches. So it is just a little over 12 centimeters high, but if you go from the ground up, it's about 12 and a half by 14 and a half, so 12 and a half by 4 and a half. And in inches, that is just shy of 5, 4 3/4. And then if you go to the ground, I'm sure it's a lot closer. Let's try it on this wall. Yeah, it's 5 inches, because they do sell them by the inch. And then let's just 5 by 5 3/4. So, okay. A lot of this stuff doesn't come, like, for example, on the shelf here, the papers are cut out, the little planters are made out of paper, and there's like stuffing inside of them, and you can see the picture there. It's got like a fake magnet made out of beads. The little jars up there are made out of beads. I need a pointer, that's what I need. Got my pencil, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So we talked about that shelf, and this was all pieced, and I'll show you what one of the instruction books looks like. So I had to glue that all together. Let's get the light back on. So on this shelf here, it looks like brick, but that was a paper. So then if we come over here to this little tiny hutch right there, those are all paper crafts, and you would not believe those gold things are like gold flowers. You see the top, I'm trying to get my pencil, see the top of this? That is what is cut up. It's so hard. Let's maybe try moving this instead of the camera. And most of that's glued in there, so I can't even take them down to like show you. So that is what the handles of the cups are made from right there, is that cut up. And the little bags there of corn. Oh yeah, come on, autofocus. So those are paper, and then of course you glue more paper on. There's a box there of like some waffles. Nope, syrup. Focus on it. Let the people see ya. There it is. Syrup. And so that's tea and lemonade. And if we can get really close to that lemonade, you can see little bits of pink cut up inside of there. Well, in the T there, that's a piece of paper inside of a plastic tube. And when we get to the table, I'll show you. So then back there are the little silverware, and that's a bead that they're sitting in. And they're just in there loose. But that's an egg beater, and I think that's for bread. Oops. And I think the hardest part of this particular one was making the plate rack. And then in the lamp. The lamps are always horrible, so if I take off the lampshade, it's just paper. And the glue I first tried using for this wasn't very good, so you can see it's all falling apart. It's something I'll have to fix. Let's see if I can get the paper off. This is just horrible. I'm so sorry. It's so hard to get in these tiny things. So you can imagine how hard it's going to be to work on it. So you can see, and I'll show you what the back looks like. That's just like a bulb, and I'll have to fix that, but that's a wire. And once you bend it wrong, it's hard to reshape it, and that's what these are made out of too. And so it's just wire with paper wrapped around it. Same with the sink. You can see the lever. It's just kind of flopped on the counter there. And then those plants, again, it's just pieces of paper cut up. And that's felt, I believe. And then the knife is horrible. Please don't judge. You can see how tiny it is compared to the tip of the pencil. So those little flowers there are what is inside the lemonade jar cut up. This tea kettle was a big pain. You can see the glue on there. So this was wiring with that sheath on it. And so you had to cut away most of the sheath, but not all of it, because you needed it. And like the spout was actually supposed to look a lot better. I don't know if I still have the book for it or not. And then this little container. And you had to make these. It's just 2 pieces of wire bent in half. And this is just a piece of paper. But because everything's so small, it's raised up. And you can even see, if I get a top view, how the paper sticks out there. You have to cut those out and fold it. And trust me, I came a long way. Oh, and apparently my handle fell off is now just lying there. It should look like this one. And I'll move the chairs and stuff out. I just want to show you the stuff. And so, and like these cups are hard because the tops never want to stay on where the coffee is. And then of course there's another little plate of more that you had cut up over on your cutting board back there. This candle took forever. So this tubing that was used to make this is the same that was used to make these jars. And of course you sew everything. There's not a lot of cutting for the table. But if you look underneath the skirt, you can see that it's just made out of a little, I think that's paper actually. It's a paper tube. And then you can see the wiring a little bit back there that runs through this. And then it runs under the sink, under this whole cabinet. And so gluing the chairs together, and then you sew the pillows. And I just cheated, totally cheated. Oh, I threw it on the floor is what I did. Just to show you scale of the pillows. Here's my thumb. Okay, it won't sit on top, but it's about as big as my thumbnail. So then you put a little bit of padding on here so they're actually really soft. And I didn't glue the chairs down because I wanted to be able to move them for the plant is glued down. The table, I glued some of this stuff down, like the plate and the cups and the candle, of course. And it's so hard to get some of these straight because you're cutting them by hand. And at this point, I didn't have a good tool. And then most of the books, unless they're on shelves from any of these, you can flip the pages, but that one's mostly glued down. I can't move the table out. And for some reason, those cups never want to stay on my really crudely made S-hooks. They're actually supposed to hang up there on this rod. And so under the sink, I wanted to make sure that was as open as possible so you could actually lift up the skirt if you wanted and pretend to put stuff in there. And then it's just a little dish rag that was sewed over. And I actually, if I remember correctly, oh, I didn't glue that down, but I don't want to pull it out because of the wiring. And so now I'll show you what the back looks like, because I didn't wire all of them up. That's what one of the packs looks like. And then you do all the wiring. There's pre-drilled holes. You don't have to worry about drilling them. So let's push him over. Oh, and then the last little thing is that bread bag. That was really fun to make. It's just rolled up paper. And so the next one I made, I won't go into as much depth with all of them as I did with that one. So now this one is really cute too, and this one is part of the set with the kitchen. There's 4 of them that have the same wallpaper like design, and this is just, I didn't show it to you on the other one, but that's just paper glued inside. The hole is actually cut out on some of them, not on all of them. So placement can kind of get tricky. So one of the most fun things making in this one was this, because that's, again, just a bead, and then it's just, see how close it'll let me get before it, see, it's just plastic bits that I had to glue all those pieces of paper on. And let's see, let's focus in on the shelf. I had to make all those books, and then there's a couple of super cute little jars there, and they do, I believe, got cut up stuff inside. The same stuff, yes, that's inside this candy box that I believe is written in a different language. Oh, my cup runneth over, so they're like tea cookies or something. And then this is just like a little recipe book here. Let's see, it's actually not glued down because I didn't want to glue anything to the couch. I really highly doubt it's going to focus on that. Maybe if we shut the light off. I'll see how much it'll let me show you guys. Maybe I'll have to zoom in editing and see. Yeah, it's not gonna. And so I didn't glue down the couches, but there's wiring that runs down in there, so let's put that book back. And like the flowers are much like in the other one that I made, where you have to cut every petal out of paper. And even those green leaves are cut and glued on. And it's just green wiring with green petals. And then tying ribbons like that, I actually looked up some YouTube videos on how to tie mini bows like that. So I believe I used a fork. So then over here you got a little pile of presents, some photographs on the hook, and that's actually a toothpick broken up, so it's really rough. And I made the little purse. And if you look underneath the table, there's like a couple of boxes under there, and I don't believe they're glued in, but I don't know if I want to risk taking them out. But let's come to this one, because this was one that was on my wish list for a while, but it was a little bit more expensive. So this is just a bunk bed, and it's got, up there is just a little desk area, and turn the light back on. Back there, you can see a little pencil jar next to the computer with a little tiny notebook. Let's see if we can get a better view for you. Super cute. And then he's got some books on the floor, but I think those are supposed to be on the bookshelf and they fell off. As you can see, this is falling over too. That's supposed to be glued up against the wall. There's like a little cup there, and there's some flowers. I don't think they're supposed to be that big. And then there's a calendar there. Oops, and you can see where I wrote part number on there. Right here. Oops, that was supposed to not be showing. But there, I made this little wastebasket. That was really cute. Little tiny rug. So these, the desk should go back. There we go. And so obviously it's like little stairs. It's like the best bunk bed ever. And let's take this out. And so this would light up, and then this one would light up. But I don't believe I put batteries in this one. So then you got a couple of little seed beads here on top of bigger beads, and an open book with pictures. And somebody left their coffee, apparently. And so there's the first bed, and it's got a little railing. Of course, everything you see you make. Nothing comes pre-made except the wood pieces. And so then when we get down in here and we look at this person's bed, that lamp also lights up. And of course, oh, this was one of the few that I didn't have to make the slippers. So those are, they're like plastic or acrylic or something. But this rug here is like super, super soft. And under the bed, nothing's under there. I think that the blanket was actually supposed to hang over a little bit more, but so here's this view. I know I am jostling you. And they got some foodie pictures on their wall. I got 2 more bedrooms. I'm trying to make room for these so I can show them off. Oh, one last thing I love in this room is those letters up on the there, and even the frame. Some of the frames will actually have stands on them. That one, thank God, didn't. This one had a lot of really fun things in it, this bedroom here. And I got this one, obviously, because my favorite color is purple. They have this version in several colors. Okay, so this one, this lamp, it lights up, and then this lamp. And right there you got her purse. It's got a little book in there. And that little shelf there, the hook, it's only got, it's paper. And then, of course, that's cut up wiring right there. And those balls, let's see, grab my pointer. These balls, it's actually one of those, it's one of these cut up. And so then this one's supposed to have all kinds of fabric inside. Just a couple of seed beads. And then you got your stool to sit, and then underneath she's got a little bucket. I don't think that this table is. Oh, it is. And then on her table, this is, I thought was the cutest. She's got a little notebook, a lined notebook that has nothing written inside, and her little set of coloring pencils. There was a couple more in there, like there's one right there. And it's just pieces of paper folded in half. They're so hard to make. And then over here, on her side table, she's got a bundle of flowers that somebody gave her right here. And underneath, she's got a little green coffee, I guess. Yeah, a bunch of boxes. And then on her shelf, she's got another little vase of flowers, another picture, a whole bunch of books, and look at those bottles of perfume there. Aren't they adorable? Little glass beads with a seed bead on top. So cute. Okay. And this bedroom set is one that I wanted for a very, very long time. This also was one of the first ones I wanted. I just loved the look of like the stairs, which was horrendous to make. And then they got a necklace hanging, and that shelf is actually wood, this one. It's just got little tiny, like, if we can get an overhead, things that hang out for you to hang that stuff on. And then this flower is a light. Let's see. That's a light there. And then on the top bunk, we got, she's reading a book. Now these pillows were hard too, because it's not just one piece of fabric. It's this fabric also. And then you have to cut this lace apart and, trim it. And then there's her other bigger pillow. And most of the blankets are usually just folded around. See, you can see where I wrote part numbers again. And then over here on the ladies' table, they got a box of books. Let's see if we can get an overhead. See, there's their box of books, and they have a classy magazine there. I've seen that in a couple of them. And then that lamp would not stand straight, but then there's a little locket next to the lamp and the dresser. And then this was my first making shoes adventure. And they even got tiny pearl flowers on them. And then they chose to sit on the cushions. And this lamp also lights up. This one. That one was not so bad to make in comparison to the other tiny lamps. And they also have coffee, and they are reading The Happy Forest. I don't think I'll get that to focus. The nice thing about this one is this is one with an open window, but it also... Hold on, wait for it. Plays music. And, of course, that comes with it. Some of them don't. Some of them you actually, it'll say you have to buy separate. It's behind this, and I think it just fits in there. Let me move this piece of dog hair. Her bed, her pillows fell over. She's got a really pretty lace pillow there. You can see it. And then these pillows with the bows on them. Let me tell you how hard that was. And she's even got a little shelf back there with some Russian dolls, a bunch of magazines, and I believe that's like a box of chocolates or something. And then there's like a little, I thought that was a cute little detail, a little sign there. Tea time, and I had to make that crude bowl. Purse here. And, oh, and the dress form. Oh, how cute is that? Yep, I have that glued down. I can take it off and show you. Hey, how cute is that? And so and then there's some shoes to go with it. So they must be going to a fancy party or something. And there we go. And we're almost done. We're almost done. You guys are doing good with my crazy camera handling. But yeah, and that one too has those. This one has felt in it for coffee instead of paper. But again, this one I think had the handles on the cups were actually wiring that you had to cut up. Last completed room I made for my husband because he is a Christmas kind of guy. He just loves everything Christmas. And so I wanted to make this one for him. And this one too does play plays We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And if you look out that window, it's just a piece of paper. Santa and his reindeer are flying. And there are presents. They're kind of tossed about now from me moving them all the time. That go under the tree. The tree came pre-made. You just had to put all the ornaments on it. And you can see here the snowman. I got frustrated and I did not want to cut out those little tiny pieces of black paper. So I just glued the whole thing on because I started by trying to make the carrot nose. I don't know if it's going to let me get a good enough view to show you. Yeah, that was frustrating. Let's see, this lights up a lot. This lights up behind Santa. The tree light, there's a light behind the tree. There's this candle here. And there's this lamp on the wall. That's everything that lights up. And I showed this in the first time I showed this. Take the book out. And there's a little basket of knitting. Look at, there's like a ball of yarn. And then the two I'm imagining crochet hooks, and they must be like crocheting on a scarf or something. Couch, and then just a little thing. And this is actually a Christmas book. See if I can see. There's the cover. Cute. I've not been successful at showing you the pictures yet, so I won't even attempt. They must be reading a Christmas story. Now, this guy's antlers would not stay on for the life of me, so he's only got one, and the other one's on the floor, if you can see it. And this is like a bearskin rug. At least it's in that shape, and that is moving around. But look at on the table, there's like a little Christmas card, and some Christmas stuff. There's like a present on the table, and they got some mugs there. Of course, you make those, and the handles, and the fireplace. And then one of my favorite features is this snow globe with just a little snowman glued on. Let's see if we can shut the light off. That'll help. Not really. Then there's a couple of postcards on the top of the mantle there. And that wreath was such a pain to make. And then it's got all along the top, it's got that. So this one, again, is my husband's favorite. And of course the big present right there in the front. And I had to make that bow. That could be done so much better. And you know, a lot of these, if you can find little tiny bows and stuff, obviously that's the way to go. I didn't know enough then. So now these two things that I'm going to show you next before we show you the work in progress. So I showed you this one already, so we'll just quickly go over it. I might have to pause, but there's the top of it. And so there's the top of it, and it's got some little gift tags on it, and in the back there it's just folded down paper with some flowers, and I don't want to fuss with that too much because it came apart on me. So you lift off this top. See, it's very tight. Okay, I got it loose, so I wanted to do the big reveal. Take the top off, and all four walls come down and open up to reveal, and I'll show you. I'll get there. And then I'll show you the details. This one does not have batteries in it, so I realized that's why it wasn't lighting up the first time. So this is a little jewelry box, and there's like a ring box right there with a little pearl ring. And a lot more of this stuff. Same with the next one I'm going to show you. There's a lot more pre-made stuff. You still make a lot, so don't get me wrong there. This says Wonderful Journey, and it's got so many cute little details. There's, get my pointer again, little maps right there. And on the back, behind the umbrella, there's some lights, and it says, yeah, I can't move it. Oop, move the umbrella. There, it says love. And there's a couple cats playing up there. And one of the hardest parts of this one was making this bouquet, because it's just like the other one where, let's see if how close I can get. Each petal is a piece of paper. And then we got this little kitty looking in the mirror. Of course, you make it mirrored. That hat there was probably the second hardest thing to make besides the flowers. And then just turning it, show you the back side because that's super cute too, and I didn't show that in the last one, but look at it's got all these like little stickers on it. I guess like stamps of places you've been, and there's one of the lights that had come loose. But there's some more stamps, and so then the sides of this are decorated. That one is not wooden, but this side is. This is wood here, and that's actually the side that I have sticking out. And then over here is like a little note card. It's just blank on the back, so you could probably, if you were giving this as a gift, you could write something on that. And so yeah, and then, let's see, there's always all kinds of little things. There's like a little necklace hanging off that corner by the violin. And it's just, there's like flowers laying in there. And then even back there, you got a box of muffins. It's so hard to see. I am so sorry. But so there's that one. And if it were to light up, it would be right underneath there. The stand. Now this one and the next one are the only ones I have found so far like this. I guess I haven't looked in about a year. But let me pause and make some room so I can show you the next one. So that's actually how I display this one, is just leaving one side open. And so this one, it's a lot more plain on the outside, and it's got this little deer on the top with a little, it's got gift tags, and there's bunnies because it's actually bunnies, which is weird that there's this deer on top, but it's got all these little gift tags on it. Different bunnies, and all those flowers I had to make. And then this one's got actual lace, and this is just like a doily, like a paper doily. And so when you take this top off, this one is my favorite. You get this little, the Sylvanian family. And this one, there's a lot going on in this one, so, but it's got these butterflies that are on just like some, like acetate or something, and this one is really stiff because it's got a lot more stuff glued to it. It's got a lot more going on, and so we'll start with the sides on this one. But this one's got butterflies, and they're supposed to be like 3D looking. And then on the back side, you just got this generic one, and then over here, it's like a whole notebook. And let's see. So it's got a bunch of cute little pages and like lists. Everything. I think for the garden it says. And there's another page. And there's the back page. Oh, no, there's 2 more pages. Scott's Roses. Oh, nope, that was the last one. So that's like super cute. I wish they would have done more of that for the cat one. And so that just slides right in there. And this one here is the wood, and it's got like the branches and a bow and another one of those 3D butterflies. Alright, let's get to the actual tree house because this thing is freaking adorable. I couldn't wait to get this. So let's start up at the top. And this one lights up, and I'll show you that after. And so up here, you got a little tiny bookshelf with some fabric. I might have to shut this. Here's this pencil tip. So look at those stools and the chair. Alright, we'll get the light back on now. And so, yep, teeny tiny chair. And then they have a cake. A couple of cakes there on their stool. And these come like this. The only thing I had to do was put the paper on the outside ring of these and this, which was hard. And trying to get up underneath where the light runs, that was hard. And I had to cover this is paper on here. It's just like a normal piece of wood. And then you get the first bunny there. Try not to get it to focus. You get Mr. Sylvan or Mrs. Mr. And of course you come down the stairs and we'll take a look at that, but let's look in the bedroom first. There's this teeniest, tiniest bed with the smallest little dresser. This light's just not allowing you to see. So there's that. And you can see the teeny tiny bed. It's got little lace details. And the dresser's got stuff on it. Turn the light back on. The dresser's got like a fake little lamp. Trying to show you for context. My pencil tip. That's how tiny that is. And there's a little book on the dresser. And of course it's not going to show you the detail because it's just too small. And then over here on the wall, they got their wedding picture. And there is a window with curtains back there. You'll see that on the back side. And then when you come down here, we got a little basket of, it says Merry Christmas. To me, I thought that was apples. And a little seesaw, teeter-totter. And again, it says the Sylvanian family. Turning this around. Now look at. This, obviously, things on this size scale are very hard. It gets caught on that. So it's like got a little teeny tiny fence there. And there's that window with the curtain and the window box. It's made out of paper. And when you look up here, you got Mrs. Sylvanian painting on an easel. And there's a little furnace right there, a little like wood stove, which you can't see unless you're like right up in there. And there's the easel, and there she is. Pull back. That fence is made out of paper. So then there's like all kinds of like little details in there. And then we're turning it, we got another fence there. And then there's like a little street light right in there. Let's see if we can turn this on so you can see what it looks like lit up. I'm going to lift it up. You're not going to see anything for a sec because it's so hard to... I'll show you the bottom. So there's all the wiring and then it's plugged in. Let's set this outside of the box. And I'm going to shut off my flashlight. See there. So the little table is lit. Yeah, you just, no matter which way you look, you can't get that furnace in there. And then there's the bedroom all lit up. Super cute. And there's the street light. Lighting up the whole house. Let me pause and get him moved. And then I'll show you the last house. And then I'm going to show you the supplies needed. And then I'll put you up on the banana stand for. And that's how I display the Sylvanian family. Box and all. And you're seeing all kinds of stuff off in the background. But this one is my favorite. Even though it's super hard to show you guys all the super cute details. This one took me the longest. Put these guys side by side to have you look at that while I get this last one. So yeah, that's what they look like. Those sit in the center of all of these rooms. And I'm coming over the top, so... Alright, this one you guys will be able to see the instruction booklet for. Here's all the stuff, but I'll show you this when we go over supplies. So this is as far as I've gotten, and there's still, believe it or not, a lot to go. So you got a little porch swing. And it actually swings. This will light up right here. And then down here we got a little... Oh, actually I can move the table out. There'll be another lamp up on here. Down there you got a basket of seeds. And there's like a watering can there that's coming apart. And up here you got a little bit of newspaper and flour and smile. And then you got some pictures on the wall. And another little hutch, and that's got little berries inside. And there's more books and I'm guessing a crock pot. But there's that syrup container again. And then that box is really cute. It's got one of those little golden things on it, on the top of it. And then I really like the curtain in this one, because I had to make this. I had to roll that up and add the ribbon to it. And then, of course, ooh, that one's got like a little couch. Like a lounger. But see, I can show you. This is just, I wrote backrest. This is just cardboard. Or cardstock. It's not even cardboard. And then it's got stuffing in there. And then you just wrap the fabric around. And I use double-sided sticky tape for that. So I kind of cheat when I make these. Same with the pillows. It's really only sewed on one side. Otherwise it's sticky tape. And even look at this. Even got, you can see that little tiny detail on the wall. There's the cord for the blinds to roll it up and down. And even in there you can see the little balls there. And then the cute table. This will get glued down once I'm done. This was where I tried spray adhesive. Was on this table to put the tablecloth down. So that's as far as that room's gotten. I did start doing some of the wiring on. Oh, and this one does play music too, I guess. This is This is one I had to order. It's got a string on it because that likes to come out or fall in there. The big hole there. I'll just turn it on a tiny bit. Oh, you gotta wind this one a lot, apparently. And it's behind this hutch that I just knocked all about. There. I'm just knocking everything. My big hands don't belong in this tiny room. Alright, so why don't I put you up on the banana stand and show you all the supplies it takes to make this, and I'll show you what an instruction book looks like. Alright, well thanks for sticking that out with me. So this, I mean, look at what happened. I accidentally got acetone on there. I was trying to clean the glue off. Ruined my nice board. I should actually have that out. So this is what the covers look like when you get them, is they're wrapped in this. And they're just acrylic when you take the wrapping off. This came apart off of one of them. And that's just my sewing machine book. I don't know why that's in there. So this is the Kitten series. Kitten Diary, and this is what that room will look like when it's done. So I guess there was a pillow in there that didn't belong. I wonder where that one goes. I'll have to figure that out. I think it goes on the couch of one of the other rooms. But so I have to finish those slippers. I have to make those pots. I have to make the lamp, and put this stuff up on the strings. I mean, for the most part, I'm pretty much done. There's not a whole lot left. I stopped wiring those afterwards because of how the wiring is. But this is like, this will show you everything you get. Most of the time, you will not get the glue because they can't ship that. I got it once. And then this will go through each one of your pieces. They're not labeled though, and so having a ruler is very handy. And then this will show you the type, some tips on your lighting. And see, that's what the battery packs look like, and that'll tell you what kind of bulbs you're getting. Most of them are those little tiny LEDs. And then it'll continue to go through. There's more of the wood, and then everything when it says C package, A and B package, they will say that on the bags. And then this is like an example of what your materials are going to look like. You got, they call it shine silver paper, but it's actually foil. And you know, most of the time, these ain't even in English, so then you have to get one of those translators. And I've had to do that for several of these. And then it'll show you all your different components. That PVC tube, you make a lot of things out of that. And most of the time when you get stuff like this, you're cutting it apart and using all the different parts. And then it'll take you through all your paper. And, over here in the C package, this is all your cloth that you get. And this will take you through how to put your walls on. And how to make sure, because it'll still be a full piece of paper, you have to cut that out. Same with the flooring. And then putting your windows in. I mean, it literally takes you through step by step. And so here it's showing you that little ball chain needs to be broke up. You need those pieces. And you're applying them there. See, and this one says, please purchase an addition. Not all, that was the only one I had to do that with. But it'll even show you how you need to put them together. So even if you can't understand, you know, if it's not in English, you can request English most of the time. But I don't know. See, and then it takes you through step by step how to make everything, and then that's how you make, you know, there's your cardboard, there's your your stuffing, and then you're wrapping the fabric around. Shows you how to cut it, and they do give you paper templates for everything that needs to get cut out. I don't think I have one. I think I have it all cut up. I might have examples though. And so literally just takes you through step by step. Like there's a little stack of paper, how to make some of these cutouts, because most of this stuff you're cutting out of a big sheet of paper. And you'll see, because I did find one on AliExpress that I want to get. So, and then it'll show you how to do your wiring, and then it should show you how your top goes on and all that stuff. And like this paper, this came with this kit. It's right here. Sometimes it's the guessing game of trying to figure out what goes where, you know, and it's showing you have to cut this out to fit the wiring to come out the back. And so these are just all the baggies. I told you I'm a hoarder. I saved all the baggies. That's baggies. Now this is like some of the materials that have been left over. I won't go through all of it with you, but I saved it because sometimes the stuff that you get doesn't always work. So you'll get stuff like this, and it's just dried out. And then there's all kinds of examples of clippings. This I found was the most useful thing to save, because they are so hard to work with. And there you're getting stuff that you put in the center of flowers. Here's like more of that stuff. Now just to show you those little apples that were in that Sylvanian treehouse, there they are. They're just little foam, and they're really staticky, so they were hard to get on there. I saved some more leaves because I never knew. I mean, I save everything. And so these things are the centers of the flowers, and you'll get one of those on each side, and then you just weave them through the centers of the flowers. And so that's the kinds of what some of this stuff looks like that you get. And I literally save it all, because a lot of the times you get in the same materials, and sometimes something that you used in a house previously works way better than the stuff that they provided in the current kit. Some of this stuff is just in here because I just added it. I have these glue dots. These I thought would work, but they didn't. You can see that they're actually making these pearls stick. Here's a bunch of extra stuffing. You don't go through it all. Plus, I still need it for the new one. I have all of these ready for when I need to wire. I think I have 3 of them that aren't wired. Electrical tape obviously is a must for this. I think this is stuff for the current kit. Yeah. So this is all, yeah. I kept it separate for obvious reasons, because it's not done. We'll talk about this glue in a minute. I just see stuff had been falling out, which I think this goes in here. Oh, this one. This is where I kept all the extra fabrics. I have no idea why I kept all the fabric scraps. But here's like a lot of like the extra twine and leaves and ball chains, and this is like the stuff that you cut up a lot of times and put inside the jars. A lot of the wiring, because that's so tricky to work with. This thing here is what you cut up a lot of times to make handles for things. And then I have several of them, several different styles. These little teeny tiny pink flower, that's the flower petals for most of them that you use. And so here's like where I kept all the extra fabrics, and this is like extra papers. Like I said, you never know. And most of this in this bag is extra stuffings and stuff like that. I don't know why. It's just ridiculous. And the one thing I found that was very necessary to invest in was a mixed thing of seed beads, because you use them so often, and I found that they would fall all the time, and then you're just screwed because they only give you a certain amount. So the other thing that I found necessary were both of these. These are perfect for wrapping wire around to make S-hooks. I wish I would have had that with the first house. And then just pliers. I have an assortment of tweezers. I just don't, they're just scattered, but I bought ones like this where you have to, they stay open until you let go, and then they close. Those are so nice to have, so you don't gotta be as precise. This happened to be the best glue, if you can find this, Beacon 3-in-1 Advanced Craft Glue. Best stuff I found for the houses. A lot of this was experimentation to see what glues would work. So then this is what I use on the tables now. I found a bunch of these nozzles and just bought these for random, you know, because it's got that fine line in it. See, it's not going to show you. It's got the fine spout on it for getting along those edges, because like these ones are obviously that's too thick to come out. But then when I found this one, this has got that, it's got a nice thin applicator on it, so it works nice. That's the key with these things, is the fine tips. This one is a really good one too, this Elmer's Craft Bond Quick Dry. Quick Dry is another essential thing when making these houses, and this has got a nice size tip on it too. It's a little wide for some things. There's this AdTech Fine Line. I didn't like this. This didn't work very well. More just baggies, just random beads lying around in here. Something I found at the dollar store. It shouldn't even be in there. So my assortment of glues. These were the glues that I actually got with the treehouse. They weren't supposed to send it, but they did. They sent me 2 kinds. I haven't tried them yet, but you know, this is a silicone glue, and then this is just a white glue. This is obviously good for paper, and this is good for everything else. I didn't really get to use much for this E6000. I tried it on a few things. Extreme Tack. I liked it because it just creates small dots instead of oozing out. It gives me a chance to clean this up, huh? And then this one is one of my favorites too. This Scotch Quick Dry Tacky Glue. This was really expensive though. I only could find it at Hobby Lobby. I think it was like $7 or $8. This too, obviously, look how dirty it is. You guys like the aqua version of this for sealing your diamond paintings. This is no different. It's just not aqua glue. It's white, but it works really good. It's just multi-purpose liquid glue. It works really good. And then I just got an assortment of glue sticks in here for, like, this one is really good. This is repositionable for making like those books and stuff. So that's really everything that I use. Oh, here's another set of really good tweezers. We get a lot like this, but these are better quality. These are really nice for placing things in. So I promised I would, I'm trying to see what this is, insert a picture for you guys. I'm not going to show you the exact one of the one I ordered, but this is a kit that I had wanted to try. Just trying to make sure there's nothing else in here that was important for making this stuff. Now I think once, I should probably get more of these because everything's in here for making dresses and everything else, as you can tell. I thought this would be useful for a lot of the sewing projects in those houses, but it wasn't. So this isn't going to be the exact kit I want to get, but I can't give you everything. I want to thank you for watching this whole time. This was a very long video, very unsteady video, but I appreciate it, and I'm really excited about this. I've been looking at all kinds of different craft kits and craft sets to work on with you guys. So I just wanted to start with the houses because I had it at the end of the introduction video and they seemed to be a big hit. And I thought, well, I might as well show you guys everything and go from there. And then, so this is the kit, the style of kit that I want to get. And I will link some stores down below. You can get these. Let me insert this picture first. So you can get these houses on Amazon, on this, I found this site Banggood, B-A-G-G-O-O-D, and I will link that. They seem to be the most reasonable, but again, you're waiting for them to come from China. They do have some in the U.S., some, like in their warehouse in the U.S., but I wouldn't hold your breath on that, because I still found myself waiting for a long time for a lot of these kits, which just would make you crazy when you needed something to work on. This is some of the leftover paper. You get a lot of extra paper. You get a lot of extra supplies for the most part in general. Maybe they expect you to make a lot of mistakes, but I thought this would be really good paper for like crafting. We'll see. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going all over the place with this video already, so yeah, look for those links. Try Banggood. I did see that AliExpress have some of these. And I guess back then I always just thought of AliExpress as a place. Oh, look at this. The lampshade was stuck to my sweater. I always thought of AliExpress as the knockoff makeup store. That's where you went to go buy knockoff makeup. I never thought of it for anything else, so I never checked it when I was buying these houses a lot. And they have a lot that I don't see a lot of price difference between them and say like Amazon or this Banggood store. So it's more just shop around, see what you can find, see what you like. I just wanted to show you, see, I started making some of the buckets and stuff that go in there. So most of it's just finishing up the sewing and piecing it together, like the smaller stuff. So there's all kinds of, there's the cat that goes in there. So yeah, I made a lot of it. It just needs to be pieced together now, and I need to finish the sewing. So we'll probably do that together. And we'll get one of those kits. I love, those are like Altoid tin kits, and I always wanted to do one, especially after I did the treehouse and the cats. I thought, how fun. But, alright guys, I will let you go. Like I said, thank you so much for your patience and sticking it out in this video. I am really looking forward to all the stuff we're going to do together with this series. Any ideas as far as things that you would like to see done, put them in the comments. And I have some ideas for some craft subscription boxes with, they come with a project inside, see if they're worth it. Most of them I found are pretty expensive, so I don't know when that will be. Finding craft kits at like Walmart and Target and stuff and doing those, as well as all the other things that I told you in the introduction video. But alright guys, I will cut this video off. Have an awesome day, friends. Have fun crafting, diamond painting, doing whatever it is that makes you happy. I love you, friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.